Hello live stream, hello Facebook. Welcome to the Davidson Center here at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, the Rocket City, Alabama. We have just about wrapped up NASA's 2018 International Space Apps Challenge. Our contestants are eagerly awaiting the results of the judges back here. Hi, contestants. Okay, as you might expect, they're a little tired because it's been 48 hours. Tony Eberhardt from Urban Engine, one of our sponsors here. Matt Scott is joining us as well. What do you think about this event?
Wow, so I'm in awe of all that's happened this weekend with space apps. We have 200 plus events worldwide, but the main stage here in Huntsville is perfect, more than I could have imagined. It's the Rocket City, and I'm so glad that we could be here. I'm in awe and excited to see all of the projects that all of you have to present. So thanks a lot.
I don't know if you can see this on the stream, but we are standing literally under a Saturn V rocket. This is a fantastic exhibit. If you have the chance, get down here to the Space and Rocket Center at Huntsville and enjoy this U.S. Space and Rocket Center. It's got a fabulous lineup of displays about the moon missions, starting with Mercury, Gemini, all the way up to Apollo. It's incredible. Space Lab is here. It goes on and on and on. You can spend days here. And, well, in fact, we have spent days here, haven't we? Yeah. Wow, they really need some caffeine. All right. Tony, you want to say a few words?
Yeah, I could go for some caffeine too right now, Dan, if I'm being honest. But we are just so thrilled. Urban Engine is so proud of everyone who came out over the weekend to participate in the hackathon. Like Matt said, it really is just astonishing what this group of people has put together throughout the weekend, and being part of the global community that are also working on these challenges, bringing us all closer together through science and engineering and human exploration. We are tired, but I think we're still having fun.
I think some exciting things are going to come out of this too. Everybody here has worked on their challenges diligently. They've all put in their best efforts, and that's what it's all about here at NASA. It's about problem solving. There are going to be a lot of problems to work out here as we send men back to the moon in the next few years and then eventually onto Mars, and who knows what's on the future, right?
Yeah, and I guess we'll see. That's the cool thing about space apps, is that I think with all of the projects, that is the future. People are being the change that they want to see. And so, in 10 years, we're going to see a lot of solutions, including a lot of Huntsville solutions, actually implemented and changing our world for the better.
Yeah. I had the opportunity to talk with Jody Singer last week about the new SLS, the Space Launch System, and what goes into it. She said there are 1,000 companies across 40 states who are working on different elements of that spacecraft to get man back, as we said, to moon and beyond. First launch is in 2020, and she has no question that they're going to achieve that.
Yeah, I believe it. You can see what can be accomplished over the course of 48 hours or 72 hours here at Space Apps, and so I believe it. They have more than enough time before 2020 to get that all together.
It's incredible to watch. If you look at the history of NASA and what they accomplished with technology in the 60s and early 70s and even into the 80s with the space shuttle, and then to look at the technology we have today. It's amazing. What's in your Apple Watch is 1,000 times what they had to send men to the moon. But you still can't you can't remove the people element from that creativity.
Absolutely, and I think too, the different kinds of people that it takes here. One of the things that was so special about what I saw people put together this weekend was the use of art and creativity and bringing thoughts into a visual demonstration, the storytelling that goes into it. And I think our finalists here today are going to do that for us too. They're going to tell the story of what they put together, and we're going to see the global community do that on the spaceappschallenge.org website too.
Thank you, Tony. And before we get real quick, what impressed you most about the folks here this weekend?
You know what? It's just the energy. That's one thing people kept saying to me. I was sharing the video of the live stream, and everyone was so impressed by how awake everyone was despite the lack of coffee. And even now, I'm still amazed that anyone is still awake, frankly. And so that's really what it is, and I'm so glad that we chose Huntsville and are here in Huntsville now, and who knows, maybe we'll be back in Huntsville again for a future main stage for Space Apps.
I certainly hope so. Yeah, fingers crossed. Thank you, Matt Scott, Tina Eberhardt. Appreciate you being here. Stay with us. The announcement of the winners is coming right up. Oh, come on. Didn't seem quite as enthusiastic as yesterday, but that's all right. Just to reintroduce myself, I'm Dan Schaefer with Way 31. We're one of the proud sponsors of the 2018 NASA International Space Apps Challenge. On behalf of all of our sponsors, especially Urban Engine, the city of Huntsville, the Rocket City, the Space and Rocket Center itself, we want to welcome you back. It's nice of all of you to be together again. Somebody needs a shower, I think. No, I'm kidding. That's the smell of victory, right? Congratulations to all of you. You are all seriously to be congratulated for spending this weekend together, doing amazing things, whether you walk away with the $10,000 in cash and prizes grand prize or not. You all done something that you can look back on with a lot of pride. How did it go this weekend? Okay, all right. Dion, come up here for a second. If you remember, this is a group, a team member. Your group is from Alabama A&M.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You were enthused yesterday when we talked to you. You were psyched about this challenge. How did it go?
I think my team did amazing. We had fun. Of course, we ran into our bumps in the road, but overall, it was a very great experience. And I would just like to say congratulations to everyone here, because I was walking around and I would hear amazing ideas. And I don't know if this was implemented or not. I heard someone say something about harnessing the star, and I was like, oh, wow. So the fact that people think this big, it's just amazing to hear and be around. So thank you.
Thank you. Good job. Congratulations. Good luck tonight. We're going to announce the winners here in just a few minutes. Anybody else want to say a few words? Anybody have anything to say about this weekend? How did you do? Anybody? You're all tired, aren't you? We should have served coffee on the way in. All right. How did your team do?
We did great.
What's your name?
I'm Jeanette.
Where's your team from?
I think primarily here in Alabama.
It went well?
Very well. We accomplished our goal.
Good for you. Well, that's the important thing. You accomplished your goal. You all accomplished something huge. Stand up. Come on out to the aisle here. Go ahead. I saw your hand up. You're on the spot now. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, congratulations on what you've accomplished here. What's your name and where are you from?
Justin Olson, Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah, what was your team working on?
We were working on a video game about Dyson spheres and Orion, and hopefully we'll get to tell all of you about it when we win.
Exactly. It went well. What were the challenges?
Obviously, insomnia, or rather the lack of. Tried to stay up all night. I'm nervous, I'm sorry.
No, that's me too.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Probably a lot of the same challenges that everybody else had. Trying to come up with something and implement it in such a small amount of time and make it work, too.
Right, that's the important thing is it's got to work, I guess, right? Well, congratulations. Good luck tonight. Thank you. Anybody else real quick? Want to say a word? Up here? Okay. Oh, this is our high school team, one of our high school teams. All right, how did it go?
It went pretty well. We ran into some challenges, definitely. We were trying to work with stuff that we had never worked with before, namely JavaScript, which was fun. But everyone was so supportive of us and really just wanted us to succeed. And we ended up with a project that we're actually really proud of. So.
It almost feels like not just individual teams, but it's a huge team on its own.
Yeah, it was the whole group of all the volunteers and mentors and other groups helping each other that made this really fun.
Yeah, well, that's the important thing is, I hope you all had fun. Did you have fun? Yeah, all right. I don't want to keep you here too much longer. I know we had a little bit of a technical delay in getting started here, but we're going to introduce you to our judges very quickly, and then we'll explain how the judging goes. But first of all, I want to start down here. Dick Reeves, going to stand up. All right, you can say your name again and where you're from. I just happened to catch a glimpse of your ID tag there.
Great. Well, my name is Dick Reeves. I've been in Huntsville a long time, starting as a computer engineer. but quickly became an organizer of high technology businesses here, organizer of angel investors to serve those businesses. And today I specialize in the software app industry, in finding ideas that are in the hands of people who can't take any action on them.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Our next judge.
Hi, I'm Marcia Inslee. I'm a software developer. I'm here representing Women Who Code Huntsville and also We Rocket Conf.
Terrific. Thank you. Next up.
Hi, I'm Angelina Uno-Antonison. I'm a software developer at Hudson Alpha Institute for Biotechnology on the software development informatics team. And I also represent Women Who Code Huntsville and We Rocket Conf, and really excited to be here today.
And we're excited to have you. Thank you all very much. And over here, our next table, our next set of judges. Hello.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm Geetika Thondapu. I work as a software developer for NASA's Surveyor project. So what you did for the past 3 days, I do it every day. Good luck, everyone.
There you go. She does it every day. Okay. Hi. Welcome.
Thank you. The name's Tim Pickens, and I'm from Huntsville, Alabama, and I've got a company called Pickens Innovations, and we develop hardware that goes into space, and we do cool stuff.
We do cool stuff. You're all doing cool stuff, that's for sure. Hi.
Hi, I'm Larry Lewis. I'm president of Project XYZ, which is an engineering, logistics, alternative energy, and IT company here in Huntsville. I'm also CEO of BizTech, which is Huntsville's oldest incubator, and I'm just happy to be here this evening.
We're happy to have you guys. Thank you all for volunteering your time. We appreciate that a lot. All right, Tony, you want to come up? Tony Eberhard again is going to come up and explain to y'all how the judging is going to work tonight.
Hey everyone, it's so good to see you. I know that you're tired, you've been here for a while, the caffeine is starting to wear off a little bit, but I am just going to talk a couple minutes before we get to the fun part again about what we're going to work through here and how judging has worked and how it's going to work going forward. While I have a couple minutes with you, I do want to say I'm the executive director of Urban Engine. It's a nonprofit organization that puts events on like this because we recognize what's special about each and every one of you. You came to this event because you have ideas, because you like to problem solve, and that makes you very, very special. In the world that we operate within, the people we talk to every day are trying to find people like you because you're motivated, because you will persevere, and because you're willing to take action on your ideas. So while we'll only hear from a few of you today that will be recognized as finalists and award winners overall, I want you to know the fact that you showed up and did this at all sets you apart. All right, and so please stay throughout the rest of the awards ceremony, hang out, keep in touch with one another, and celebrate each other because you've all accomplished something this weekend. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right, so for those of you that have just joined us, you're here because you're supporting students or friends. This weekend started off with an expo. We had a great lineup of speakers, panelists, TED Talk, Rocket Talks. All of that is online. If you missed it, I encourage you to go seek it out. We'll help you find it if you need help. We showed up yesterday morning, you found your teams, and you got to work. At 2:30 today, you submitted your projects, and right at that moment, you were broken down into different groups, and we had preliminary judges that happened based on your videos, the code you wrote, any demos you included, and any other information you provided. From there, it was broken down into a series of finalists. Also throughout the weekend, you probably met and talked to some volunteers and mentors that were getting to know you and getting to know your projects. These volunteers and mentors were also looking at some merit-based awards that they could nominate you for. So, in a couple minutes, I'm going to announce the finalists, but we also have some merit-based awards that are going to be given out whenever we do the overall winners. So, definitely hang out and wait to see if your team has won one of those awards. All right. So, other things I need to make sure I say. We're going to run through. Okay, so if you're called as a finalist, here's what happens next. grab your team and come over to this side of the room. You will need to decide whether you're going to show your 2-minute video or do a 2-minute live pitch. You have either option you can choose from, but they're both 2 minutes. So if you think you're going to do the video, bring a computer because we're going to hook you right up and show it right off of your computer. And then our judges in the front have up to 5 minutes to ask you questions about your project, and then we'll move to the next team. We're going to go high school first, and then the college and professional category. All right? Okay. Yeah, definitely give yourselves a round of applause for that. All right. So here are our finalists, and like I said, you're all winners in my heart, okay? But also for anybody else who has joined in supporting this program, and there were so many. For our high school division, the first finalist team, and just hold off, don't move until I've announced all of the finalists, and then please make your way over so that everybody can hear. The first finalist team for high school is PhD, Don't Forget the Can Opener. The second team, yeah. The second team is Team Sunshine, Remix the Golden Record. And the third is Frosted Snakes, Find My Cryosphere. Awesome. For the college and professional category, the first finalist is Gas Station, Spot That Fire. The second is K218 for On the Shoulders of Giants. The third is Pyro Pandas for Spot That Fire. And the fourth is TLNT, Remix the Golden Record. Okay, teams, go ahead and make your way over to this side. And don't forget, we have merit-based award winners too, so stick around. We'll announce those after we do the speakers.
Andrew, come over here for a second. I should have remembered that. Folks, if I could have your attention for just a second while they're doing their technical things over there with the finalists. I want to introduce you to Andrew Danielle. Danielle, okay. Andrew, anyway, he just goes by Andrew. Andrew was in this very position about, 2-3 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So tell me a little bit about what they're feeling right now. And you won this competition.
Yeah, so about 2 years ago, I participated in Space Apps for the first time in Greensboro, North Carolina. Super nervous, especially like during the pitch thing, you know, like what do I say, what's very important to get across. And then, you know, that was over, the butterflies all went away, and then I got an email saying, hey, you're being selected to be a global finalist. And I was like, oh my God! And then, so I was super excited about that, and then when we were announced that we were global winners, we just kind of went crazy. And I just want to say to the teams, if you guys make it to global finals and global winners, I think the best part of the experience was meeting the other global teams from all around the world at a rocket launch. Like, that was the most rewarding part of the whole thing.
Very cool. And guess where he works now? Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else you want to say about these finalists? Any final words of advice?
Good luck. Hope you had fun. It's all about the fun.
It is that. Thank you very much, Andrew. Appreciate it. Wow. All right. We're going to get our finalists together here in just a second. They're deciding again, if you heard what Tony said a moment ago, whether they're going to use their pre-recorded pitch or whether they're going to pitch in person. Personally, once I recorded it, I think I'd go with that. I don't know. Is there anything particular you're looking for from the contestants?
Well, we want to hear the best story.
And that could go any direction.
That's correct. The best storytellers always win.
Best storytellers always win. All right. Anything in particular you're looking for?
I actually helped judge the preliminary judging, and I was just so impressed by the quality of the projects that we've seen so far. I'm just excited to see the rest of these finalists.
A lot of bright minds out there, aren't there?
Yeah, I'm really looking for if the participants are thinking socially responsible about the technology they're creating, so that we could think about how that affects our society. So that's what I'm looking for.
Exactly, and that's a big issue because anything they do is potentially going to impact the world or humanity going forward. So yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. So what are you folks looking for in terms of the presentation?
So in terms of the presentation, I'm looking for something innovative which answers any existing problem and which helps the society.
Exactly, that's about the bottom line, isn't it? The man who makes cool stuff.
I too am interested how they connect with the end user and what problems are they solving, and is it more than just interesting? I want to see something that makes a difference.
Something that makes a difference, but it is going to be interesting too. And finally,
yeah, I'm just looking for the creativity and the innovation that went into some of the ideas that these guys are going to pitch, and then also just the energy from the teams themselves, because, I mean, teams are made up of people. These are very bright people. I have a business, so maybe it's somebody I might want to be looking to hire one day.
Exactly right, and that's what happened to Andrew. He was a winner here 2 years ago. Now he's working for NASA. It's a dream come true, and it could happen even if you didn't walk away with the big prize this time. Don't give up, because it's still possible. Even if you didn't win the Space Apps Challenge, there are lots of challenges you'll be going through as you move through life, so don't give up by any stretch. It's exciting to me. I didn't realize there were so many high school students involved in this program.
Yeah, that's the thing, to get the young people interested in space and technology, and getting them the opportunity to present and work together as teams and present their ideas. I mean, it's a good learning and growing experience for them. And again, I've hired high school interns at my company, and these guys are bright, just as bright and intelligent as some of the college and adults that we have. So,
did you hear that? Any high schoolers? They're hiring interns. That's how I got my first job. I know, hard to believe, but I did. Internships are the way to go. All right, looks like we're heading this way. Give us a couple of more minutes here. Just a couple of more minutes. All right. So, anybody, have you hired people from a Space Apps Challenge? Anybody? Have you hired a Space Apps Challenge winner or contestant?
Not yet.
But it could happen? Sure. What is your feeling about the kids, the high school kids, and coming up? And I mean, my goal when I was in high school was to work at Walt Disney World. That was pretty much it.
I think high schoolers have a huge advantage over us in that they don't think about failure. It doesn't occur to them to think about it. So their projects, the scope of their projects becomes more impressive as a result.
It is impressive. It's amazing. You guys have done great work, all of you. Incredible.
I coach a robotics team, a high school robotics team, and I just love when high school, their creativity. They just come up with the most insane things, and I love that. So that's what I love seeing in these competitions with high school students, is they're just insane, creative ideas.
Insane and creative ideas. We're hoping to see a lot of that tonight. We're getting close? No. I got a head shake, no. That means I have to tap dance a little bit more. So who didn't have a good time this weekend?
No.
Claire. Hi.
How are you doing?
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, and I'm so impressed with all the folks who have come from, all over. Why don't you talk to the Bama team here? They're from Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa. Welcome, guys. All right, so you didn't walk away with the big prize, but still, good experience?
Oh yes, it was a great experience. We definitely learned a lot of new technologies, got to practice a lot on the old technologies. A lot of principles we're going to apply to the software we built for the NASA RMC challenge.
Are you tired? Ready for a hot shower? Yeah, I didn't want to say, but yeah, you could. You had a good time, though?
Yeah, I had a really good time. I got to work with some stuff that I didn't think I'd get to work with. We did the Spot That Fire challenge, and I got to work on the section of our code that actually took user submissions and determined whether or not they were telling the truth with "there's a fire here."
Amazing, the technology, isn't it? So did you meet any new friends? Did you interact, network at all?
Yeah, I got to meet a lot of the mentors. They came and talked to us, and they were really cool and really nice.
Great. You'll do it again, maybe? Yeah. I mean, overall, it was a good experience, right? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi.
Hi. Were you a part of a team?
I was not. I'm actually a high school teacher, and my kids competed.
Oh, congratulations. Where are the kids that competed?
Well, 2 groups are actually finalists.
Look at you. Congratulations.
And then we've got another 2 sitting here.
That's great. Okay, so what was their challenge?
So one of the groups did the Cryosphere project, and the other group did the Remix the Golden Record project.
Yeah, and they did pretty well.
They did really well.
And congratulations to you, too. Yeah. You had a good time, though?
Oh, I had a great time.
All right, I think we're just working out a few technical issues. Anybody else want to say a few words about the Space Apps Challenge? Going to do it again? Liked it, loved it, hated it?
It was great.
What are you going to say when somebody sticks a mic in your face, though, right? You can be honest.
It was great.
Okay, yeah, that's good. There you go, an honest opinion. It was great. All right, how are we doing? Tony, we getting close? Oh, it's up to them. Okay. Sorry. Okay, hey, they're good back there. Let's see if they're good up here. Again, congratulations, everybody. Come on up, Matt. Matt's going to rescue me.
I just figured I would say some words to you on behalf of the global organizing team as this all gets sorted out. Tony asked me earlier, and I said, no, I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to keep you from your awards, but because we have time, I figured I would just grab the mic and talk, and hopefully they don't kick me out before I go. Thank you. But just so you know, one thing that I considered sharing with you when when I was considering giving this little talk was just the global perspective after the end of the weekend. So I mentioned that on yesterday, just more than 24 hours ago, we had 17,000 participants, and now we passed the 18,000 mark, so it looks like that will be the number for Space Apps 2018. 200 plus events, 80 cities, or 80 countries, so that's awesome. But the other thing that I wanted to share as a not only community manager but storyteller myself is that on social media, hashtag SpaceApps has reached, by the way, I checked a couple of hours ago, so it probably went up, but 48 million people. And so many people are being exposed to what's happening here in Huntsville. So many people are being exposed to Space Apps and your solutions. So it's not just happening here in Huntsville and the Rocket City. There are people all over the world who are seeing what's happening. In fact, we're actually live now, not only on the live stream, but on our Facebook page, just so you all know. So that's all I have to say. I could probably say more, but I'm going to give it back to Dan.
You might need to. Did you ever want to go to space yourself?
I don't know about space. I'm good having my feet here on Earth. I'm good being here on Earth. But I think the cool thing, I said this yesterday about Space Apps, is like it's a chance to engage with NASA even though you aren't an astronaut and don't have an engineering degree or an astrophysics degree and all the other requirements it takes to be an astronaut.
Terrific. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate your time. No, I think we're good. All right, we're going to get started with the judging, it looks like. Are we ready, Michael? We are. Okay.
First team is PhD.
The first team up, I guess I need to put a microphone up there, don't I? Is PhD. Congratulations, y'all. Appreciate you being here. Let me give you the mic.
Hi everybody, I'm Ella, and that's Allie, Madeline, Karis, Hallie, and Katie. And we're representing the team PhD, which is also our Girl Scout troop. Being Girl Scouts was really important to us, and it was an important part of our project because we wanted to help people, which is led to our choice of don't forget the can opener. Natural disasters are a big issue that affect a lot of people, both here and all over the world. And in addition, the number of natural disasters is rising, meaning that damages and deaths will also skyrocket. Despite this, many people are not ready for such a scenario where their home and their lives may be threatened. Enter Disaster Prep, an intuitive, multi-purpose solution. Take a short quiz, and you and your family get a checklist of what to do and what to pack. The action plan is also customizable based on the disaster you're facing. There's valuable tips, disaster maps, and other information. Lastly, you can sign up for text alerts so you'll know when you're at high risk and you can be prepared and alert. It's also available in an offline version if a disaster has wiped out your internet connection. Part of the reason I'm so excited about this project is that it can really be added on to easily and made more detailed in the future. In the future, we'd like to add on to the text alert function, as well as add more types of disasters that are supported and more maps, and maybe make a more detailed questionnaire. In the future, disaster prep could save lives. Thank you. Oh, does anybody have questions?
So what was one of the prime motivators for you guys to take on this challenge and your app idea?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
What was the motivation for choosing to do this particular app?
Well, we're Girl Scouts, and it's part of the Girl Scout promise and law to try and help people all over the world. And so it's important that we support the community in our project, which led to us using Don't Forget the Can Opener.
What kind of technology did you use to build your app?
Well, I'm going to hand that over to Madeline, who is our main coder, because I think she can probably answer that better.
All right. So we went through multiple different languages and everything before we decided on Python, actually, for a text-based program. And we used it as a prototype with a website mock-up, because we wanted to use a program language that we were familiar with instead of trying to figure out an entire new language within a day or two.
So what is the plan ultimately for the app? What platforms will it run on?
Now you're going to take that over again.
Yeah. Okay. So we're planning on, like, if we're planning on continuing this because of how much we like this project. So we were thinking of trying to learn new programming languages like C++ and JavaScript to make it a part of like an actual website, and make it so that you can receive text messages, so we can get alerts and etc.
I got a question. You know, when I think disaster, I think we're going to not have power. You know, we're not going to have the internet. Have you guys considered, you know, the ham frequency bands are used for emergency purposes? That's a second line of defense for communication. Have you guys, do you see your platforms at some point working? Let's say, you know, they do a lot of communication with packet data and things like that. What do you foresee getting around the challenges of not having power? I've got an app, but how do I really get information?
What did he say? Yes. Yes. We have an offline version available as a file, so also in the future, if we decided to code an app, like Madeline mentioned, then we would definitely have the information and your plan, something that you can access offline.
What would you say was your biggest challenge in creating this solution?
I would say at first we had a lot of ideas that we wanted to follow, and different ideas were important to different members of the team, and so we really had to consolidate our vision into something that was doable. And we actually used a must-have and a nice-to-have list to separate that. So once we finished the must-have, we went to the nice-to-have column, and I was actually pleasantly surprised that we finished almost everything on our list. So that was our initial challenge, and then of course we faced some technical difficulties like with audio and such, but those were pretty easy compared to the first one.
And just curious, did you guys use a starter repository to do this, or did you code from scratch?
I'm going to let Madeline answer that.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. Okay.
The question is, did you use a starter repository to code this, or did you do everything from scratch?
I did everything from scratch.
Nice job.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. This is Team PhD. Don't forget the can opener. Good luck. Our next team up is Team Sunshine.
Hello. Like you said, we're Team Sunshine. We represent New Century Technology High School here in Huntsville. Our mission that we chose was the Remix the Golden Record. The Golden Record was this record that was sent with the Voyager probe back in the 1970s, and it held information and music and just a bunch of stuff about human civilization in the 1970s, and it's 19 light minutes away from the Earth right now, so it's gone pretty far. And we wanted to give our own 2018 spin off of that, so kind of include more modern technology, not a record, but what we thought was important. So we designed our own probe here. We actually 3D printed it, and it has its own little door, has its own objects inside of it, and what we included in it was like leaves, acorns. We chose to put in soil from all 7 continents from the Earth and a world map pointing out where that soil came from, so they could see that it was like a solid planet through the galaxy. And we also put in a USB with important things that we thought were important about human civilization, so pictures and music from just our time, as well as a computer that we thought a solar-powered charger so that aliens would be able to watch what was on the USB when they found it. Yeah. Oh, 30 more seconds? Okay. All right.
So what the probe is, we went to the Huntsville Steamworks. It was a local organization that gave us free CAD designs, and we actually went and designed and 3D printed our model, our probe XX1, which is 21 years. The name we got from it was 21 years. New Century. Any questions?
Was there anything that determined the size and shape of the probe?
Yeah, actually, so a time constraint. It took 6 hours to print this little thing. So if we went any bigger, it would have taken longer. So that's one of the reasons we made it so small. And this is actually just a model. So if it was real, it wouldn't be this small. It'd probably be a little bit bigger. So that's why.
We wanted to have like the main compartment be the general size of Voyager. Yeah.
So what's the next steps with your idea? The next steps, your next steps. What are your plans to continue after this?
So our next step is we will launch it. It will be its own probe with its own capsule. It will go to KP, what was it called?
The recently discovered Kepler
B.
Kepler 834b solar system, because that's a different direction than where Voyager went, I believe, and there's potential for life on those planets, so we wanted to go somewhere where we thought maybe there would be life to find our capsule.
And also we'll go to Enceladus, which is Saturn's 7th moon, possibly. Could go to.
What was some of the criteria that you guys used in order to choose what would go in your probe in order to represent Earth and humanity?
So we figured most of us were pretty diverse, like different from one another, and we figured like what in our backgrounds was important. So we did try and get a broad look at human civilization, but we wanted to make sure that we had our own little things in there. Like, for example, I wanted to put something maybe more to do with politics because I like to focus on political things. So recent things that have happened in like politics. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Team Sunshine and Remix the Golden Record. Next up, the Frosted Snakes. Is it Find My Cryosphere? Is that right? Come on up. Come on in. Whoever's the spokesperson.
Matthew. No.
We can send a man to the moon. Tell us a little bit about the name. I'm curious. The Frosted Snakes.
So Frosted Snakes, we were trying to come up with ideas, and originally when we were thinking of what we were going to make for this project, we wanted to do it with the cryosphere, which is about the ice and Earth's surface, and we thought we were going to be programming it in Python. So we were like ice, frost, frosted flakes, frosted snakes.
Yeah.
So for Python snakes, frost for the cryosphere.
We see what you did there. All right, congratulations for being here. Hopefully we can get your presentation.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this Plan B we're working on?
Yes. Plan B.
Plan B we're working on now.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
I think
Okay.
so.
Good luck.
Hello, we are the Frosted Snakes. We are from New Hampshire Technology High School. We are all seniors in the computer science strand there, and we wanted to complete the Find My Cryospheres challenge.
The problem we wanted to solve is that a lot of people don't know about the cryosphere and how awesome it is, and it's also a vital component of the Earth's climate, and climate change is a real issue. So if people don't know about it, then you can't solve those bigger problems.
So our solution was to create a web page where basically you also you inform people, but you also provide them an interactive map where they can see how close the cryosphere is to them and how a cryosphere affects them, basically.
So one of our interactive user parts was that we used NASA GLIM's glacial satellite data to generate our interactive program that allows the user to see points where glaciers are nearest perennial cryosphere component. When you open the website, it asks you for your location, and we use that information to show the user where the nearest glacier or permafrost location is. And this, well, okay, so the example you're going to see is our nearest permafrost location is in Colorado Springs. And that affects us because, you know, we'll have temperature changes, our fruit prices will go up, and temperature changes, then we're going to have more mosquitoes. And we don't want those in Alabama, but we have enough of those.
So long term for this project, so we were only able to focus on North America for this because of our resource allocations that we had available for this event. But looking forward, we would love to include the global community involved and put it into a database. So.
So that website was really cool. Good job. So I want to ask what libraries you used.
What?
What software?
Yeah.
Okay, so we used JavaScript Leaflet to make the map, and we, yeah. Okay.
So originally we were going to start out using Python, and then it got a little too complicated trying to convert between all of the database files that NASA provides for us, and so we ended up using Leaflet to display a nice user-friendly map to navigate through all of the NASA database using GLIM's glacier data, and we used JavaScript to parse through all of the data.
So
why this project?
So we were looking at the challenges, and we thought the cryosphere sounded really interesting, and we had never really heard about it. And so the more we researched it to like see what kind of project we would do, we realized like how really cool it is and how really like important it is to the Earth. And so we wanted to educate more people about it.
So what are your plans next for the website and app?
So for future plans, we would like to completely upload this app to Heroku and be able to let it be accessed by anyone in the world. We want to be able to have the entire database of all the glaciers put into a back-end database where we could pull from, so someone in Tokyo versus someone here in Huntsville can get data that is personalized to them, so they'll understand how their life is affected by the importance of the cryosphere.
Sorry. So another thing is that in that map you guys saw, that was just glaciers and permafrost, but we would really like to implement like snowfall and like sea ice and stuff, and we would like to like click in between those categories so it'll be more clear exactly the different aspects of the cryosphere. And we would also like to add like that area where it's like the animals and the, okay, so basically you put in your location and it's like, okay, because you live here, these animals are affected by changes in warming of the cryosphere, and that's why you should care, because these animals will die if the cryosphere isn't here.
Do you anticipate being able to, you know, with NASA data being gotten every day, especially with LiDAR technology and other means to map, you know, the glacial activity, would you see the major glaciers being something we could click on, and you'd sort of give us the volume of that today and what the change in the climate, like the local, wouldn't be just local, what is the water change? If that disappeared, what would be the change? You know, just things to ponder, if you will, if you're the end user.
And we found a photo database as well of all the glaciers, and in the future we would also like to have those images appear when you click on that area, but you know, we had 48 hours, it was a lot.
Also, one of our big problems is the NASA satellite database is just so large, and we cannot put that many points into our little desktop. So if we definitely had a bigger server, we could do so much more.
So did you think about cloud computing like Google Earth Engine or something?
Sorry?
Did you think about Google Earth Engine?
Google Earth Engine?
Yeah.
Yes, actually. By the time we had gotten that far in the competition, we had already tried Python, and we had already kind of started implementing Leaflet, and so we realized that Google Earth Engine would be a really great resource to use, and in the future we may switch to that, but Leaflet, we had already kind of started on it, so we just kept on going, you know?
Right.
Good luck, Frosted Snakes. Next up, we move to the college portion. Gas pump. He looks like a team of one, but he's not, actually. There's a group behind him as well.
Okay, I'm just playing my video. Hi, my name is Michael.
And I'm Raymond. In response to this year's Space Apps Challenge, we decided to take it upon ourselves to create a web application to help combat the countless wildfires throughout the world.
The western United States has experienced countless wildfires over the last decade. I have seen firsthand the chaos that these natural disasters can cause. Unfortunately, many families are left with little or no time to react to a wildfire due to the delays and insufficiency in our traditional methods of wildfire detection. For example, satellite-based detection systems suffer from large delays, while optical cameras and wireless sensors are too costly to be a viable solution.
To solve this problem, we created a web app that combines both the traditional tracking systems and innovative crowdsourced reporting. Introducing WaterDrop, our solution that was designed from the get-go to alert the entire public of a wildfire as soon as possible.
With our app, a person can use their computer or mobile device to report a wildfire. They simply capture a photograph using their preferred device and upload it to WaterDrop. The report is then automatically tagged with a location and added to our interactive heat map. In less than a minute, all users within the area are alerted to the potential danger. From our app, users are able to vote on reports to establish confidence that they are accurate. They also have easy access to official publications as they become available.
We created our app using a combination of the Laravel PHP framework, Vue.js, and MySQL. Using these technologies, we have created an app that gives people an edge in wildfire awareness. We have integrated both crowdsourced data and information from the incident information system. We utilize these datasets to create a list of confirmed nearby wildfires and a heat map of crowdsourced reports. Users can opt in to receive notifications about potential dangers created by fires. Our app means that families will have more time to evacuate, and firefighters will have a better chance of containing the disaster sooner.
Thank you. Any questions?
What was the database you used to store the data?
I'm sorry, what?
So what was the database you used to store the details that they sent?
So for storing data, we're using MySQL, MariaDB. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you guys consider the situations where bad actors are using your system and sending false alerts? And what would you do to design around that?
So that was the consideration why we implemented the upvoting and downvoting feature on the crowdsourced reports. Eventually we would be able to tell whether a report is good just based off of upvote to downvote percentage or something like that.
I may have missed it in the video, so how are the authorities alerted when someone sends in a picture?
So the purpose of our application is not to alert the authorities. It is to bring about greater awareness quicker for the public. So say you're hiking on a mountain with your family, you see a fire in the distance, you don't know whether that's something you should be worried about. You can pull up your cell phone and check our app and see, is this something other users have reported? If it is something that concerns you, then the user is the one who would contact the authorities.
Does the app provide a mechanism to contact the authorities where it says call this number, or does it recommend them at all to do it?
That was a feature that we were actually planning on implementing, but that is not in the app yet.
Are there any other sources for reporting fires that you would be, you obviously picture taken by one person versus having a lot of data coming in saying, hey, we validated this because we've had 6 reportings, same location. What do you, and you said that you wouldn't be necessarily serving the first responders, if you will, but it sounds like maybe you could, sort of, the more information is always better, but what other types of data is available for tracking fire, either through NASA platforms and just, or either local infrared towers or whatever? I don't know much about firefighting, so maybe you can tell me how you see this sort of being, growing, being really useful.
Certainly. So one of the other data sources that we were using, I'm blanking on the exact name, but it's a governmental organization. It's INCI, and what it is just it's an incident database, which just contains all the wildfires. So what our vision is it's not shown in the video, but we do have a heat map which shows like the reports where there's a large number of ports in a single area, and then theoretically once this national database becomes aware of that fire, then it will replace those reports, and users will have easy access to official publications.
Is this a web app or a standalone phone app?
A web app or what? Sorry.
Or a standalone phone app?
It is a web app. It does run very easily on a phone. But yeah, it is intended to be used on both devices.
So did you make it responsive? Did you make it responsive to be used in any device?
I'm sorry.
So did you make your code responsive, the web app? So does it look good on any device or only on the browser in your computer?
I'm still having trouble understanding the question.
She just was asking, what does it look like on a handheld device?
Okay, sure. So on the handheld device, it still looks the same as the desktop app. It's just scaled down and designed for ease of use with the handheld device. So for example, with the report incident feature, you can just click that box and then it will automatically open up your phone camera to take the picture. So It is optimized for both platforms. All right, thank you.
Next team to compete is K218 from right here in Huntsville.
There's an important mission. 4 of our gyroscopes on our Hubble ship have gone out. This mission is called Safe Mode, SM3A. I need you and all of your team to go on this mission and replace the gyros on the Hubble ship. Can you take care of that?
So we're team K218, and we had a focus on education and inspiring the next generation using the images from the Hubble telescope. And so that was our video. I think someone's going to come down there and give you a quick live demo of the web application that we built. But essentially our goal was to just build a game that's interactive and inspiring using those images from the Hubble telescope so that we could hopefully inspire the next generation of innovators and scientists. And so as he's going around showing that, I guess you guys can take a look. But
it is mobile friendly, it is multiplayer, and it is live currently.
so essentially the concept is you jump through space to the different places that the Hubble telescope has taken pictures of. It asks you questions about space, it shows you images and gives you information. And that information, as you study it, it'll come up with bonus rounds as you go through the game to keep you learning and growing on that information while also really utilizing those really beautiful images from the Hubble.
One of our main goals was to bring the beauty that Hubble sees every day into the light and make sure that people that are out there on the internet playing games, doing things of that nature, can remember to look up, to look forward, like NASA has been doing for the last 60 years.
All right, thanks.
Questions?
There are a lot of games in the kids STEM area. So what would, in your mind, set this apart from things that are already out?
Well, so this is a great game for kids, but it's also a great game for teens, college level. We had a lot of fun playing it once we were testing it. This is educational, but the focus really is on the beauty of space and the celestial bodies around us.
What is the technology stack that you used?
So our backend is serverless. It's all through Firebase with the Firebase real-time NoSQL database. The front end is all HTML, JavaScript, CSS. We used Bootstrap as our styling framework, and lots and lots of photos.
That's cool.
Are there multiple missions as part of the game, or how does that work?
So currently there are 16 different locations. We plan to build that out to at least 45 for the initial finished product, then there are different dimensions of gameplay that add further strategy that we just ran shy of time.
What was some of the biggest challenges you guys faced this weekend tackling this project?
I think everybody will say sleep, but we worked pretty well as a team. I think a couple of problems came in with image density. The Hubble images are very high res, and so our dev environments were a little slow to respond.
What do you see as being the next step, not only for the gameplay, but for the game in general?
Yeah, so like I said, we've got the features that I was just mentioning that we'd like to add on, but we'd also like to market this as a multiplayer game that can integrate into Facebook, integrate into the Play Store, things of that nature. It is generalized to the point where it would only take a short amount of time to achieve that, and so one way or another we'd like to do that.
What about, clearly you're using real high-def photos from Hubble and whatnot. What do you see the big attraction from a gamer standpoint to want to go, play your game? And what sets it apart from somebody who's just doing fictional, backgrounds versus reality?
So that is probably one of the most amazing thing about the Hubble images. They are more amazing, outstanding than any work of fiction. The beauty in these celestial bodies cannot be surpassed.
And it just kind of appeals to all groups. It's a Hubble space race. The general gameplay is you answer general questions about space, as well as Hubble images. Right now it's first to 30 points, and there's a tracker up in the top left that shows the progress of each spaceship, which is each player, and the first to 30 wins. So that's kind of the competitive nature that it probably appeals to most people.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was Team K218, one of our college finalists. We have two more college finalist teams, and the reason we have 4 college finalists is what? Professional. And professional, thank you. College and professional teams is because 2 of the teams tied. So we have 3 of the high schools and usually 3 of the college professional, but because 2 of them tied, so we've got 4. Our next team up is coming up shortly as soon as we set their video up. Take your time. It's not like they've been here for 3 days or anything. All right, this is Team Pyro Panda. Pandas? Pandas, plural. Pyro Pandas.
Building a web-based app that supports crowdsourced input for early wildfire detection and analysis.
The goal is ultimately to say, look, here's all the data we have on fires, and we've seen those and we can act and respond to those in the near term. But the longer term is, well, there's a history of fires in these areas. How can we manage those areas to make sure those don't happen again? It lets you not only tie in NASA satellite data, so you have that IR data, it'll also let the general public basically get on the site and drop hints, geotag, where they spotted a fire, upload pictures to that geotag and other information.
Other potentials for it then would be for monitoring purposes, actually tie in alerts so that, say, a fire department in California that covers one of the large national forests can actually get an alert that somebody tagged a fire at this particular location.
Wildfires are not only devastating for wildlife, but they're also devastating for our communities. But with an app like this, we can change that.
Any questions?
I'll ask you what we asked the other team that took this challenge, which is what do we do about people who get on there as bad actors and just fill the data in with nonsense?
You got a good answer for that?
That's always a challenging problem to solve. That's why we elected not to allow too many fields in the initial version of it. So we can filter it down to just where you are, where it is, and roughly when it happened, and if you've seen it extinguished.
And there were also talks about implementing a feature where if someone repeatedly reports fires that aren't actually there, or they keep abusing the system, that they can essentially be reported to the authorities if they're abusing laws or anything like that.
Another feature that we talked about was also looking at where somebody was reporting from and their GPS location. If it wasn't close to where they were dropping a pin, say relatively within a mile, it wouldn't let them post it.
So I wasn't clear from the video, so does it automatically alert authorities if someone reports a fire, or is it screened out ahead of time?
At the moment it doesn't, but that was a planned feature, is that it would, if you got enough, upvotes, for example, if enough people confirmed that there was a fire there, it could alert the authorities.
How many reportings constitute a legitimate report where you take action, or your software makes decisions to alert others? So what is the criteria for that?
It does not alert yet. I would assume you would want to bounce it off of population density. You're out in the middle of nowhere and you report a forest or a brush fire or something. It's probably a brush fire, and you're in a urban environment and you've got 10, 20, 30. It's probably a building on fire. So confidence metric.
For reporting, do you allow anonymous reporting, or is this through user accounts in an app?
It does not have user accounts yet. That is something that could be implemented on top of it using OAuth or Facebook authentication, tie into an external authentication source pretty easily.
What was some of your biggest challenges during this weekend on the project?
Well, some of our biggest challenges that we encountered was just trying to do everything in a very quick time frame. Building off, though, we bring a lot of knowledge to the project. We have web developers, we have computer operating system developers, and we've got 3D artists. So really just collaborating together, and how are we going to have everybody on the team collaborate and work on that. So that was a good little challenge that we had, but it was all good.
Picking and choosing what we can get done in the allotted time frame is actually a very large challenge as well. So this is actually live and hosted somewhere right now. So.
Good luck, Pyro Pandas. Going to set up for our next and final finalist. This is Team Talent. Talent, I'm told, is an acronym for truly lit, naturally talented. I get to see all the other entries. This is fascinating. Come on up, talent. Oh, I guess you all get to see it too. I didn't realize it. Okay, the big screen behind me. Idiot. Team Talent.
The universe is infinite. We have no idea what or who could be out there. The Golden Record's ultimate goal is to find extraterrestrial life outside of our solar system. However, it doesn't have an efficient way of looking for signs of life and can be difficult to operate for other life forms. To improve this concept, we innovated the Golden Record and called the remake the Golden Potential, a capsule containing a medium encased in gold alloy of information about modern Earth along with our history and culture powered primarily by solar power that sends out signals, scanning for signs of life using a satellite that will travel outside our solar system. Once the Voyager 3 detects a planet that could potentially have life, if it receives a signal back, then the Voyager 3 will travel to the planet to deploy the device down to the planet's surface. It will then give flashing signals that direct the extraterrestrial beings on how to open the Golden Potential. Once the box is opened, it will begin to play the information about Earth's history and culture. In case the planet lacks a light source, there are also directions on the Golden Potential on how to use the crank, which can be used as another source of power. Other than expanding our impact as humans and preserving a piece of our history, this could possibly lead to a relationship between humans and extraterrestrial life that could potentially assist in further advancement.
We are Team Talent, truly lit, naturally talented. We're all from Alabama A&M University. Touching on what was said earlier, we really chose this challenge because we knew that it could be built upon in several different ways, like the video that's showing would be shown to the extraterrestrial life that was found, and we also built an app that would be for human consumption to learn about the project, and it'd be informative and actually teach them about what we were doing. If there's any questions, take them.
Our teammate Brock is coming down with the demo for the app.
What was the technology stack that you guys used for the web app you're showing us?
May you repeat the question?
What kind of technology did you use to build the program?
Okay, so we used MIT App Inventor, which is a program that can be used on Android devices, and it's based in Java.
Is it a web-based application or just standalone?
I couldn't understand the question.
So is it a web-based application or a standalone application?
It's both. You can use the computer to develop the app, and then you can transfer it to your phone, and then you can go from there.
So does it require internet to run it?
Okay, I didn't get that. I'm sorry. Can you say
Does
that?
it require internet?
It does require internet.
Okay.
Why did you guys decide to build an app to go along with the project for education purposes?
And your question was, why didn't we?
Why did you build an app to supplement your project for educating people on what you're sending out to space?
So the app was more just for the judges, just an extra credit piece that we created to kind of just give information to you guys. It's not for the aliens or the other life because we don't know if they're intelligent or not, so they won't really understand what's going on in the app. They don't understand what a cell phone is 9 times out of 10. So it really was just kind of an extra piece just trying to get our point across.
I don't think we saw the app over on this table. Can we take a look at it?
And so is the idea for the, I guess, the project to send this disk to a planet once a signal is discovered?
So we are sending out a satellite that will go out into the solar system and possibly farther, and it will go out scanning for signs of life, and if a signal, so we're hoping that the life forms, thank you, are intelligent, and they will send the signal back. So once we reach that, we will send the probe down to that planet, and it will deploy the medium, which is a digital device that basically has like a TV screen on it, and it will send it down, and it will give the life forms like a flash signal on how to open it, the box, and it will, as soon as they open it, it will autoplay the video.
If you had another single day to work on it, what's the first thing that you would add beyond what you did in these days?
I personally believe that I worked on that app myself, so I would try to work more on that and improve it. And I believe that we could add more diverse and updated clips to the actual video that would be shown to the extraterrestrial life.
What do you think the most interactive, value proposition that you're really offering with this app? What is the hook? I mean, what do you think really will excite people about wanting to use this?
I think like the really intriguing part about the app is, the really intriguing part about the whole concept is the extraterrestrial life, like the hypothetical of other beings being in our actual universe. So that app would hopefully like excite the children and excite other people about extraterrestrial life and actually put some interest in NASA.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Team Talent. And folks, if you would join me in giving all of our finalists another round of applause. They've all worked really hard. We have a couple of special guests lined up for you this evening. Our first guest, unfortunately, couldn't be here in person, but he didn't want to let this go without taking a few minutes to say a few words to all of you on this special occasion.
Hey, y'all. I'm Senator Doug Jones. I'm sorry I couldn't be there for the Space Apps Huntsville Challenge today, but I wanted to let you know that I'm very excited about the work y'all have been doing. I'm even more thrilled that this work is happening right here in Alabama in our very own Rocket City. As you know, for decades, the Huntsville area has led the nation and the world through innovative research and space exploration. So it's no surprise that when I was growing up in Fairfield, Alabama, I was absolutely enamored by the pioneers in our space community. Those brilliant men and women pushed the boundaries of science and knowledge to explore a world totally unknown to humankind. Their bold work continues to inspire a new generation of explorers, innovators, and outside-the-box thinkers. That tradition of excellence carries on today in Alabama. This hackathon is just one way that each of you can continue to advance our understanding of our own planet, the universe beyond it, and the relationship between the two. Together, you've also explored solutions to the problems we face around the globe by leveraging data, design, technology, and even storytelling. I know you've all made the most of this incredible opportunity, and I'm excited for all of the great work you'll continue to do well beyond this challenge. Best of luck to all the teams, and congratulations on your great work.
Senator, yeah, there we go. U.S. Senator Doug Jones, everyone, in case you didn't know that. Our next guest knows exactly what the contestants are going through. He has been with NASA for many years, or had been with NASA for many years. He started his career in 1989 at Marshall Space Flight Center right here, worked his way up to center director, and then eventually to NASA administrator, a position which he left just in April of this year, in fact. So without further ado, I want to welcome up Robert Lightfoot. Robert Lightfoot now works in the private sector, but a former NASA administrator. Robert, thank you very much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate your time. Hope that quick bio was almost accurate.
I just got a piece of paper. All right. So, well, this is weird. Y'all are like really dark out there. So, nothing like coming to do the speech here in the final turn of the evening. It's gotten dark. You guys have had no sleep. I'm expecting to hear some snoring any minute now out there, because I've told how much you guys worked this week. Hey, great stuff. I mean, I timed it perfectly to come in and hear the briefings that we just had here. And what I couldn't help but do was laugh a little bit, because I felt like I was in a program management council at NASA going through the different programs. What I heard was challenge and scope creep. You know, maybe biting off a little more than you could chew on day one with the time constraints you had. But what I also heard, which was kind of exciting, was the fact that those constraints actually drove you to be a little more innovative in the things you needed to do, right? And that's something we did at NASA every day. Because when you get those constraints, and that's when the innovative juices get flowing the most. I also think one of the things that was interesting in this, and thought I would share a little bit about, from my career, what your experience today will just help you build off of as you grow and mature as you move into a career in this area. The first one is how you respond to failure or when things don't go so well. You know, I think every one of you probably got some lesson in this last weekend from where something didn't go exactly as you expected, right? You're tired. It's not working exactly as you expected. You got to be here, you know, at 5 o'clock to present give your final presentation. And what I'll tell you as a leader, I never really worried so much about the failure as much as I did how you recovered from failure. And so what I saw today, which was important, was I still saw the passion, even when the presentations didn't work, right? That's always those kind of things happen all the time. And to watch the young man walk down with their laptop and show the judges everything, that's what you do. You adjust on the fly. So it's not the failure that I worry about, it's how you recover. So remember that as you go through your careers, and think about the opportunity you have to recover from failure, because you're going to have them. Things are not going to go the way you expect, and I think that's going to be really important for you going forward. The other thing I think is really important, I heard it from every person up here, your attitude, right? And I think most people will agree with me that you're the only person that controls your attitude. And as you take on challenges like this, whether it's sending humans to the moon, Mars, wherever, or operating the International Space Station every day, or even bringing back data that, you know, building the spacecraft that brings back incredible data that changes the way we think about our world. Those are big challenges, right? But your attitude toward that challenge needs to be positive. Now, I don't mean hopelessly optimistic. I don't need sunshine and rainbows, you know, everything's just fine, right? And I don't need Eeyore. Oh, it's just terrible. I need reality-based optimism is what I call it. If you have that and you're a part of a team, your team will succeed. And I heard that today from folks going forward. I think it's really important for you guys to learn to listen. And what I mean by that is, if you will, I use a phrase with my teams called listen without the intent of responding. How many times are you talking to someone and you're so busy wanting to respond back that you don't hear what they say? And when you're in a team environment like you guys were in, and really a pretty high pressure team environment from a perspective of the constraint of time, the challenges out there were not simple, that everybody took on. It's really important to listen without the intent of responding. There's a quote about wisdom is what I gained from being quiet when I wanted to talk. And that means you're listening to people and understanding what they're saying. So just think about that. That was important for me as I ran through my career. Two other things that I want to share with you, and they'll be important here in just a minute. The first is that you need to celebrate success. And what I mean by that is even recovery from failure is a time to celebrate. Take time, take a breath, and enjoy the fruits of what your labors have been. So to that point, what I want to do is I want to give everybody give each other a big round of applause for what you've done this weekend. I don't think you realize the amount of, well, you may realize it from a tired perspective, but just from an outsider walking in and hearing what you did in the last 48 hours, that's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. Now, I will say this, the other thing you have to learn is you can't run like that. This was a sprint, and sometimes projects you work on are going to be a marathon, so you got to learn to pace yourself too as you go in that. And the last piece that I would say, not only have to learn to celebrate your success, but you kind of have to have a sense of humor, right? And what I mean by that is this stuff's hard, and it will eat you alive. I mean, I've sat on mission console, I've launched space shuttles, I've been in failure review boards over things that just, you can't ever get them out of your head, right? But you have to be able to kind of chuckle at yourself and your own shortcomings when things don't go the way they're supposed to go. So I just encourage you as you grow in your careers and you move forward in this, take your job very seriously, but don't take yourself so seriously. I think you'll find that is a piece of advice that if you can keep it in the back of your head, it won't eat you alive, because this stuff is hard, and you got to find a way to get out of it every once in a while and enjoy it. I do want to thank Urban Engine for sponsoring this. Tony and her team, I think, did a great job. And my final piece of advice to all of you is, and this is why I brought up Urban Engine, never underestimate the effect you have on another person and a group of people. So by them sponsoring this, you never know. I mean, you never know what's going to happen for some of these folks out here. They may go into great careers. I personally started on the test stands out here at Marshall, testing on the test stands that tested the rockets that's hanging above your head. And I tested space shuttle main engines, okay? And I was just a kid wearing blue jeans and a golf shirt. If I wore a golf shirt, usually a t-shirt to work, right? And I was out there getting my hands dirty every day and loving what I was doing. I would have never thought in a million years that I would have had the opportunity to actually be the acting administrator of NASA for a year and a half, right? But somebody gave me that opportunity along the way, events like this, little opportunities to show my skill and show my capability, and frankly, some people said yes when they should have said no by inviting me to take on new roles. So remember that as you go through your career, take advantage of all these opportunities, learn from them. Look at each one of them as an opportunity to learn. And you know what? These challenges you worked on today, 20 years from now when you're in your career, you'll look back and go, wow, that's the same challenge I had 20 years ago at the Hackathon there at NASA. So thank you again for what you've done this week. It's very impressive. Wish you the best of luck as you go forward. And really great, great work. Can't wait to see who the winners are. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that. And real quick reminder, hashtag SpaceAppsHSV when you're using your social media today. Our final guest tonight is a founder of Huntsville Steamworks, and he's also a board member for Urban Engine. I'd like you to welcome to the stage now, Mike Murdoch.
Our prize sponsor. I'm so happy that former Director Lightfoot brought up the topic of failure, because it's one of my favorite subjects. Long time experience with that particular topic. So I have a captive audience, so could I get a quick show of hands? How many of the Space Apps participants experienced failure during their projects? Yeah. How about other people? How many people have experienced failure just doing other things? Were you sad and disappointed about those failures? Did they upset you? Yeah. Well, I'm going to try to give you 4 reasons today why you shouldn't be sad or disappointed when you fail. Whenever I worked on a project, and I'd made software professionally for about 28 years, I was very scared when something worked the first time. When something broke, when I tested it, I was happy because I could fix that problem. I wasn't letting it into the wild with some unknown problem. So a failure is an opportunity to fix a problem that could occur in the future. Secondly, it's an opportunity to take a new look at what you're doing. Perhaps you want to take a different tack to get away from the failure, or maybe even just scrap the whole project. Sometimes that's the best thing to do. So it is a good milestone to revisit what you're doing in the whole project. Third, if you fail at something, it's proof that you're doing something. There's an old saying that ships are safest when they're in the harbor, but that's not what ships are made for. So the more you try, the more you will fail, but it's proof that you're trying. So it's a very good thing. Lastly, we learn a lot more from failures than we learn from our successes. Successes are constrained by the parameters of the problem, so there are only a few ways to succeed. There seems to be an almost infinite number of ways to fail, though. So there's lots of opportunities from learning from those. In fact, some of the greatest inventions that we're familiar with came from failures. Things like penicillin, inkjet printers, medical x-rays. All those came about because there was a failure on there. So if you treat failures like the opportunity they are, you will eventually find success, even if it's not the success you're originally looking for. Thank you very much.
Great advice. Thank you, Mike. We're going to bring back Michael Carroll. Michael is a... What? Yeah. I thought I mispronounced your name or something. He looked at me like, what? No, it's all right. All right. You've heard from him before, yesterday and again today. Chairman of the board of Urban Engine, our prize sponsor, by the way. Welcome, and you're going to introduce our winners. After 48 hours, we have some decisions, and I know you're anxious to hear them. Mike.
All right, so I know, wow, I can't see any of you. This is incredible. All I can see is a giant rocket ship straight above me. It's probably the best view in the city right here, right now. Fantastic. So I want everybody to give themselves a round of applause. I think you've done absolutely fantastic this weekend. I've gotten to talk to a great number of you, and the energy of the entire weekend was just absolutely incredible. I've met some super sharp folks that were really excited about working on really hard problems, and that is the thing that gets us fired up at Urban Engine. So I'm going to say it one more time. I know you've been here Friday, you've been here Saturday, you've heard our pitch, but if this is the kind of thing that you like to do, please connect with us. Connect with us on Facebook, connect with us on Twitter, on Instagram. I hear we're on Snapchat. At least there's a Snapchat filter for this event. You know, we want to connect with you, and we want to help you go forward and propel your ideas forward and make your dreams a reality. And that includes especially co-working night. We would love to see you, especially you Huntsville folks. Come out every Wednesday night. We are always interested on hacking on new and interesting problems, thinking about new exciting things. So we'd love to see you. Just a couple quick announcements. So, for those of you who win, it is critical that you hang around because you get to do tax forms. Yeah, sorry. It's the name of the game. In order to get a check cut to you, we do need your tax information. So, Andrew is going to be taking care of that. So, make sure that you see him so that you can get your W-9 form filled out. Otherwise, we can't give you a check. And we would not want that to happen at all. The other thing is, after this, there's going to be a small gathering at Interspace Brewing Company. That's at least for those of you in the professional and the college league. I guess the high school students, I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait a few more years. But we're going to hang out there, kind of a space-themed brewery, get some post-hackathon drinks, which will especially keep those of you who have been awake for 24 to 48 hours. That'll help you stay awake a little bit better, right? So with that, applause for beer, right? So with that, I think we're going to go ahead and do, so as you know, we have a first place and a second place in the high school division and the professional division. But before we get to that, we're going to cover a few other awards that we were giving out over the weekend. So each of these awards is $500 for the team that wins. And 2 of them were chosen as Hackathon Participant Awards. So this was based on a virtual judging panel that we got feedback from. And the other 2 were Mentor Provision Awards. So these were ones that through the weekend, as the volunteers and the technical mentors were coming around and chatting with you, they were gathering information to nominate you for these awards. So we've actually been able to aggregate this information, and we're ready to give away some money. As you come up, let's come up this side of the stage. Andrew here. Can everybody give a hand to Andrew? Because Andrew has... You have a fan club. Andrew has worked tirelessly the past several months. He's new to Huntsville, but he has absolutely connected with us here and done really great things with Space Apps. With the Hackathon, obviously you won in the past, which is absolutely incredible to have you here. But Andrew also manufactured these trophies for all of you. So you could... Oh, and they were made at the NASA Makerspace. So not to compete with you, Mike. I'm sorry. So, are we ready to give out some awards? All right, let's do it. So the first award is the best use of creativity. So this is the team that used the most creativity in their solution to their hackathon challenge. And the winner of that award is Nebula. So the next award is the Champions of Innovation Award. The Champions of Innovation Award goes to the team who presents the most innovative solution, and that team is HealthShine. You guys want to come stand? All right, congratulations. So the next award is the Lean Forward Fail Smart Award. So this goes to the team that endured significant obstacles. Now I know all of you endured obstacles over the course of the hackathon, but some of you endured more obstacles in the mentor's opinion. And that goes to the Lituation. So I know these guys, they showed up with the idea to build an iOS app and didn't have a MacBook to start with. In case you didn't know, it's pretty difficult to create an iOS app without a MacBook, so they got to make friends all around the hackathon so they could get a Mac. And they succeeded. You gonna stand up here and get a picture? Yeah. You got it. Oop. Congrats, guys. Thank you. So the last of the Mentor Awarded awards is the Best Teamwork Award. So this goes to the team that showed the most teamwork, most collaboration over the course of the hackathon, and that goes to the team Envision. Keep it going, yeah. Not only are we thinking slow, we're walking slow. Take a picture. All right. So I'm guessing, do we are the judges still deliberating, or do we have results? We have results? All right. So, before we announce the final winners, I'd like to take one more opportunity to thank all of our generous sponsors. And definitely I would like to have, if we have a representative from each of our sponsors, I'd love to have you up there so we can get a picture with the Hackathon winners. So our presenting sponsors, A Smart Place, Georgina, I think you're here. Are you here? All right, come on down. Can everybody give A Smart Place a round of applause? Intuitive, Hal, I think I saw you out there. You want to come on down? And then I know Mike, I see you standing over there, from Steamworks. And one more big round of applause for our facility sponsors. We could not have a hackathon in a better place in the entire world. Let's give the U.S. Space and Rocket Center a round of applause. And all of our other sponsors, Alabama Media Group. Who am I missing? Way TV, Flourish Consulting. I'm sorry, I should have written it down on a list here. Lockheed Martin, Teledyne Brown, and that's all of them. Fantastic. One more big round of applause. Without all those folks, this could not have happened. All right, are we ready to give away some big checks? Oh, I got a text. This is how we do things in the future.
So we're doing the high school ones first, and then those are the high school ones.
Okay. High school first. We're going to have you come up this side of the stage, and each of you gets one of these. Each team gets one of these absolutely incredible glowing acrylic trophies here. That also, Andrew. So, second place for high school. Frosted Snakes, Find My Cryosphere.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And first place for the high school division, PhD, don't forget the can opener. The other end of this one. Perfect. Now, for professional, second place, Pyro Panda, Spot That Fire. They're tired. It's hard to follow instructions when you're tired. They're tired. They're tired. Give them a break. Oh, Oh, these are your guys too.
Yeah.
And first place in the professional division. We ready? One more round of applause for all the participants. You're all winners. K218, On the Shoulders of Giants.
Some guy.
Great job. Great job.
Great job.
Super
Great job.
cool.
Come on down.
Good job. Congrats.
Thank you. Good job. Thank you so much.
Go drink some beer.
I think we've given away all the money at this point. Thank you all for being here, and we hope to see you again next year. Thank you so much. One more round of applause for all of our sponsors. For Tony Eberhardt, for Emily, for Carly, Andrew, Matt Brooks, all these people it could not have happened without. Yes, one more thing, mentor awards also have to fill out tax forms. Everybody has to pay taxes, I'm sorry.
Not just the prize winners, but the whole room.
The whole room, yeah. And that's it. Thank you so much.